Welcome to Gen X TrustFall, the podcast dedicated to planned and unplanned midlife changes and the ability to trust in the unknown. I'm Carla Loomis. In today's episode, my bestie Lisa Mitchell and I chat about how our sleep abilities and rituals have changed drastically from our carefree college days. In part 2 of this episode, I decided to change things up a bit and brought in an expert. My friend Robert Freitas is a local social worker and therapist, and we spoke about the social and emotional changes people of a certain age may be experiencing as they get ready to retire and move into the next chapter in life. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoy. So Lisa, welcome to my studio. Do you like it?
I love the studio.
It's cute, huh?
Yes, we're going to have to take a picture of this pillow.
Yeah.
And post it.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know. My last guest brought that for me. She made it, and I think I cried when I opened it.
It's amazing.
It's so great.
Yes, we'll take a picture and post it for this one.
I think it's awesome.
Yes.
But I brought you here to talk about it's not like an urgent thing, not like the diaper, the incontinence topic.
Right.
But it's definitely something that has changed throughout my lifetime, which is sleep routines.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to remind you specifically that I think it was 1987.
Okay.
We were in college in Chico, and we decided to visit some friends in Santa Barbara. And that is basically driving the whole length of California to go party. And
worth it.
So Chico was the number 1 party school, and Santa Barbara was probably number 2 in the state at that time. And so we hopped in your car, what did you have?
Chevy Sprint.
Yes.
Little 3-cylinder, 3-door
Yes.
Chevy Sprint that got 50 miles to the gallon.
Yes. So we drove down there. We drove, I think, through the night. I think we left after we both got off work.
Yes.
We left super late, drove all through the night, and we got to our friend's apartment, and they were at school. They were not there. So we got there at like 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning. No cell phones at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We get to their apartment. We can't get in. And so we went back to the car and slept for like 4 hours in the car. No problem. I don't remember having a problem.
So real quick, though, I just have to say this is why it's good having a friend like Carla, because I remember almost nothing about this that she's saying, but she's my historian.
Memory.
It sounds like I had a great time.
You did.
Though,
well, we had a badass time.
Yeah,
I can tell you
exactly.
that. But the point of my story is that we could sleep in a tiny clown car.
It was not a clown car, but go on.
And I'm going to tell you that 3 football players from Chico State picked up your car and put it in a different spot. So it was a clown car. It was tiny, and we slept like nothing. Mm-hmm. And that was at age 22.
Yep.
22 probably.
Yeah,
21, 22.
Yeah.
Life has changed.
Oh, yes. Very much so. Yes.
So I would like to hear just a little about your sleep routine.
My sleep routine.
Because you have probably the most
regimented.
Thank you. Yes. That's exactly the word.
Yes. As you said, I used to be able to sleep no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I never even thought about not sleeping.
Yeah.
It was not a problem. And that was true until I had babies, right? And then I had to wake up early but I still could sleep, right? But then, my youngest was very ill and she was in the hospital and I slept on whatever they had for me to sleep on.
Yeah.
It could have been a chair. It could have been, a mat on the floor.
Yeah.
It was whatever it was. I would sleep on there. And I think at that time I started to really learn how to like sleep when I needed to sleep because I had to
sleep on demand.
Sleep on demand. Right. Right. Okay. I've got, 2 hours, boom, I'm out.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, it became increasingly harder because as we have established in other talks that we've had, I can be wound pretty tightly, right? And I think too much about everything, and sleeping really started to become a problem for me.
Yeah.
And so we live in Reno, and we had no air conditioner.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we had to have a fan in the door, in the sliding glass door, and bringing cold air, cool air in for us.
Yeah.
And then wintertime came, and we had to turn the fan off, and I was lost, completely lost without that sound.
The sound of the fan.
The sound of the fan would just drown out anything else that was happening, at least on the outside of me, right? Not internally, but on the outside. And I was like, Earl, we got to turn the fan on. And he's like, no, it's cold. We're not turning the fan on. So we had this like big deal, right? But then we got a sound machine, and that, I listen to that now. It's just
white
sound,
noise.
white noise, just, And I left for like a week or something like that. And I said, Earl, how's it going? He's like, I couldn't sleep because I got in bed. I didn't turn the fan on or the sound machine. And I had to get up and I had to go turn the sound machine on because I couldn't sleep without it.
Yeah.
Right. So now at this point, we're like completely immersed.
Machine.
Yes. Dependent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish we'd had him in the hospital with Kendra because that would have been much better.
Yeah.
But anyway. And so then it progressed to 2 sound machines. I had to have, because I could hear like a fucking bird tweet or something like that, right? And I would be like, oh, I wonder what that bird's doing outside at night. And my mind would just go. So, but then I was losing my hearing because sound machines were too loud.
Too loud?
Part of it, yes. Because they can be really loud.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I liked them loud because I didn't want to hear anything else because then I would hyper focus on it, right? So, so then I got myself back down to 1 sound machine.
Okay.
Which
you weaned yourself.
Which I deem as a win.
Yes, it is a win. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
And then my kids both listen to a audiobook.
Okay.
When they go to sleep.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
They say we know this book so well.
Yeah.
That we just, the sound of the voice is very familiar. It's, you know, and you kind of will focus on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then, but you're not so like leaning in, like, what's they going to say next?
Yeah.
Right. It's like
my bathroom book.
Your bathroom book.
Yes.
That's exactly how I was thinking about it. And then,
do they do this with headphones or do they put this
they
on?
just put it on their phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think sometimes they used to do the head, but they don't now.
Okay.
And so I thought about that, and I thought, the sound machines are great. I can't hear anything else. Like someone could, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so then I thought, I'll try this. And I have listened to The Stand, as you know, by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Probably 10 different times.
Oh, my God.
And the guy's voice is very soothing to me.
Yeah.
The style of writing is very melodic. And so I started listening to that. And so now every night, I listen to the same book.
Oh, my gosh.
Every night. But it's 45 hours worth of writing, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm listening to the same, 8 hours over and over and over again. There's a lot going on in that book. And what happens for me is I get out of my head.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of go, oh, I really like this character, and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to stay awake just a little bit longer so I can hear, because I know I like this part. Yeah. And so
How do you know? Does it just keep playing when you're asleep, or you?
So there's a timer on it that you can say, just turn it off after 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And usually you're asleep before that 30 minutes?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Because I don't have to, sometimes I'll be like, I don't need it tonight, but then my mind starts racing about something.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
my husband,
Yeah.
my cat, my,
Right.
whatever, my parents, my
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and turning that on
Yeah.
makes it so that I kind of will focus in on the book
Yeah.
rather than that, and it puts me right to sleep now.
Wow. So that's what the hormones do for me.
Oh,
I take my hormone pill right before bed, and I got like 5 to 15 minutes of Law and Order, and I'm out.
yeah.
And then my TV is on.
See, because you like the
a
TV
timer.
on.
I
Yes.
do like the TV on. And my mind doesn't race like that. I don't have that, I can't get rid of the thoughts and stuff. But I used to wake up, I mean, every few hours. I could not stay asleep. And even with the TV off, because I did try all the stuff that they tell you, like,
Right, breathing and
breathing and meditating and dark room and
humming and
whatever.
shit. Yeah.
No, it didn't work. But thank God for the hormones. They knock me the fuck out.
Oh, I would like that.
It's rare if I wake up now before 6 o'clock. It's rare.
Well,
Yeah.
then I'm jealous because I don't get to sleep that long.
Yeah. But I can tell you that I'm a grinder. I grind my teeth.
I'm sorry.
I'm a grinder. I'm a teeth grinder.
Okay, understood.
I don't know what the other grinder, I don't really understand the other grinder, but I'm a teeth grinder. So now I have this super unsexy plastic thing in my mouth. And sometimes I forget and try to drink water in the middle of the night. Or sometimes I spit it out in my sleep and it's in my hair.
What?
Yeah.
Like you're asleep and drinking.
No, like those are two separate things. So
Okay, sorry.
I will either I'll wake up in the middle of the night, need a drink of water, and forget that I have my mouth guard in.
Oh, I see
And
what
I
you're
will
saying.
try to
Okay.
drink water with it, and
Got
that
it.
doesn't work. It's slit then I have a wet shirt. Or I will wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh my God, I forgot to put my mouth guard in, but I didn't. I just spit it out and it's in my hair, somewhere in my hair. And I can't tell you how sexy that is.
I can imagine.
And
And the TV goes all night then.
no, it's on a timer. So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
if I do wake up in the middle of the night, it's off. But a lot of times my husband, Angela, will be out on the couch, which our room is right next to the living room.
Yeah.
And I will go to bed first, and he will be like, you have the TV so loud. He's like, I can't believe you can sleep with the TV that loud. I'm like, I take a hormone pill and I'm out. And
funny.
I have about 10 minutes. So if I want to watch something in bed, I cannot take it.
You can't do it. Yeah. Yeah.
But it does go off in the middle of the night, which I do appreciate. But yeah, I've just fallen so far. I used to wake up looking cute. I went to bed looking cute.
Oh, you don't anymore? I
No.
totally do.
Can I tell you that one time my phone did not recognize my face?
I've been curious about this.
Yeah.
Like I've had my face ID on
Yeah.
for many years now.
Yeah.
And I keep wondering at what point of the wrinkles,
Yeah.
how many more do I have to get?
Yeah.
Does it adjust as
Yeah.
I get older?
Yeah, what's it looking for?
Right. Is it
Yeah.
now like yesterday you didn't have this wrinkle, but you
Yeah.
do today, so we're just going to add it in?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I'm wondering like when it doesn't recognize
Yeah.
me. That's a bad day.
It was like, oh shit. Like, then I thought, Picasso, like, his paintings and how they're all wonky and like,
Yeah.
the eyeballs down here and then the mouth is like,
Yes.
I'm like, he saw his wife one day in the morning and thought, I got to paint this chick right now because that's not normal.
Oh, how funny.
And that's exactly what happened to me. I look so scary in the morning. And then sometimes if I wear makeup, which I rarely wear makeup anymore, so I don't remember to take it off. And oh,
You're right.
boy.
Raccoon eyes and the whole 9 yards. Yeah, college days.
It's, yeah, but there's a slight difference. And my hair, I don't know what I do in the middle of the night, but my hair looks, it's all sweat. I don't know what happens to my hair in the middle of the night, but
yeah.
I mean, I used to hop up, go to class. I don't even know if I combed my hair. And now, oh shit.
And so that's like the opposite for me.
So welcome, Robert, to my little fun room. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Will you...
I like the new studio.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a guest room, and now it's
coming along. It's turning into a real studio.
I know. I think it's cute. It's improving. It's a work in progress, but I think eventually it'll be a good spot. And I got that couch for it, like makes into a bed. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. But can you introduce yourself and then talk about why I might have asked you to be on, like, your qualifications and experience?
Sure. So my name is Robert Freitas. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed therapist. I've been in the mental health field since 2011. I've been in private practice since 2014.
Oh, okay.
I'm founder of what is now Therapy Services Morgan Hill. Okay. It once was Tailored Transitions. So it's a private practice. I offer individual therapy, couples therapy, in home. I do something called walk and talk in the community. I do telehealth, and then I see clients in the office.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I've served nonprofits, children and families. I've done some work for the county, crisis work. And that's kind of what my background looks like.
Excellent. And I met you because you lived next to my brother for a while, and you had these really cool dogs that my mom loved. So that's kind of how we met. And then I thought that it would be beneficial to some of us to talk about kind of the changes that I'm going through. You're not quite a Gen Xer. You're younger than me for sure. I think you're probably like 13 years younger.
So I'm 45 years old. I was born in 1980, which means I'm right on the cusp.
Yeah. Okay.
So some people would say I'm part of Gen X. Other people might say that I'm a millennial. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah. And I think that's good because you have perspective. I think that's good. But I thought it would be good to have you on to talk about maybe some of the emotional, social, any kind of weird changes that I'm personally going through, but also I think a lot of people my age in their 50s and 60s can relate to, because in school we learned about, like, as young girls, we learned about these things are going to happen to your body when you go through puberty. We had all this, like, instruction in school. My mom was great about telling me about what was going to happen to my body. And then you grow up and think you have it all figured out, and then you start going through menopause and you absolutely do not have it figured out. You're wondering what is happening, and thankfully we have the internet now. But I just wanted to have you on to talk about some of those changes that we can experience at this age. So can I ask you first, like, what is your favorite demographic to work with? What's your favorite age group to work with?
So I would say that the population of people that I prefer to work with is people who are in a lot of pain, but are willing to do something about it.
Okay.
Regardless of age.
Okay.
With the exception of, although I started with young kids doing therapy, I no longer really feel like my skill set lends itself to really young children.
Yeah.
So older teens all the way up to end of life.
Okay. Good to know. Because sometimes I feel like I'm 16 still. And then other days I feel my age for sure. And I think we all find that as we get into our career that there's, I taught 1 year of junior high, and I knew that junior high was not for me. And so I think we find our people and go with that. So I think
for me, like I love little kids.
Yeah.
I think little kids, dogs, and nature are the things that kind of bring me out of that adult stress and can immediately put me in like a positive mood.
Yeah.
So I like with our family, we have 2 tables. We have an adult table and we have a kids table.
Yeah.
And the kids always set a place for Uncle Rob because they know I want to sit with them. I don't want to sit with the adults because I don't like niceties and asking like how's the weather and how's work.
Yeah.
The kids are just free and they speak their mind. So I love being around them, but like from a therapeutic standpoint, I feel like people who have a little more life experience are the population of people that my skill set lends itself to.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And I agree, because like I said, like in teaching, that's pretty much, I knew younger was not better for me, but I do love kids too. So I get that 100%. So something that my friends, and I know a lot of people if I was going to look on Facebook, most of my friends are going to be my age. And so I'm 59. I just turned 59. And 2 of my friends are retired. Most of my other friends are looking at retirement within the next couple of years. And so I was wondering what kind of like emotions accompany retirement or coming to the end of your career. Like, what's normal? Or I don't know if that's a good word to use in psychology, but what would you say are typical emotions in dealing with retirement and
grief?
Aging? Grief?
I would say that grief is something that a lot of people experience because they tie their identity to their profession. So then if you're no longer working within that profession, then a part of you is dying.
Oh.
Which can lead to identity crisis for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You come face to face with those existential questions of who am I?
Yeah.
Or who am I now?
Yeah.
I knew who I once was, but now life has shifted.
Yeah.
And what takes up most of your time is now gone for some people.
Right.
So that's one of the risks that I think people need to be aware of when you tie your identity to what you do.
Yeah.
What you do is a part of who you are, but it shouldn't be you entirely.
Right. Wow. I did not think you were going to say grief, but it makes a lot of sense. Interesting. And what about in like with your partner? So with, your...
So I would say that grief is not the only thing that people can experience when it comes to retirement. Depression is something that I think visits people when they retire. And grief and depression, they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
They're related, like cousins.
Yeah.
They can look similar, but they're not. But people can experience depression too.
Yeah.
Depression, in my opinion, clinically, is lack of movement towards a purpose. Mm-hmm. So if you tie your identity to your profession and you no longer do it, then you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But if you also tie your purpose to what you do, then what is your purpose now?
Yeah. I totally
so
get that.
Like then, idle hands do the devil's work, as they say, right? You don't need to be religious to understand that expression.
Right.
But if you're no longer working and you don't have a purpose and you don't know who you are, then you're sitting idly.
Yeah.
Right? You can be stagnant. You can become complacent.
Yeah.
With no direction.
Yeah.
the devil's work, sometimes it attacks you through your thoughts and your emotions,
Right.
bleeding into your behaviors and then your relationships.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy individually, that's the version of yourself that you're bringing into a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And, I'm thinking that, so I graduated in 1990. You were 10 years old from college, and got my career started. And then I took a year off last year, and I'm trying to think if I was depressed. I think or grieving. And even though I've gone back to work, it's part-time and it's pretty minimal for me. And so I can see that it was grief, because I really felt like I can't do this anymore. And the other thing that I want to say about like thinking about retirement when you're younger, you think you're going to retire and it's going to be, you're going to go on cruises. You're going to do like all these really cool hobbies. You're going to have the most beautiful garden in the neighborhood. You're going to go on girl trips with your friend. Like you think all these things. And then the reality of retirement for me, at least for that year, was not that, because my husband didn't retire yet. So I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do today? And it really, so I'm going to mull that over a little bit, because.
So you're kind of creating a new identity though. Like we're sitting in a studio that you didn't have before.
Yeah.
Right? Which is something that you created.
Yeah.
So, and we can talk a little bit about like, how do you find out what your identity is?
Yeah.
And your purpose too, right? So you don't just find your purpose, you have to create it. Uh-huh. And we're sitting in a studio on a podcast that you've created, right?
Yeah. I feel like I used to run. Well, I still try to jog, but I can't run like I used to. But when I was in high school and then college and even afterwards, like running, I hated to start. And then in the middle of my run, I felt like I could just go forever. And I'm not a fast runner. I'm not a great runner, but I could do 4 miles, no problem. And that's how I feel, right? I feel like I'm in the middle of my run right now. I really do. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know how I found it. Like, I don't know why I haven't analyzed why this is so fun for me, So I hear you for sure. And I have a friend that she was getting ready to retire, and she's like, I just can't wait to retire. And I told her, it's not what you think. Like, you're going to get bored. You're going to get bored real fast. And she was like, I am not going to get bored. I've been wanting to quit. So she called me last week and was like, I'm so bored. I don't want to and she doesn't want to go back to work, which I totally get. But,
how long had you been thinking about doing this before you actually did it?
Probably like 6 months. And then probably 6 months seriously. And then I just started researching. So I did a lot of background research to ask myself, like, is it doable? First, is it doable? Or is it, if I told myself I want to go play WNBA basketball and really wanted to do it, it's never happening, right? Anyway, so I kind of looked at the logistics, and then I just started, I don't know, really, really thinking about it and talking to people that could help me. And they all said yes. And then.
Why did you choose the topic?
I think because it was what I was going through, and I wasn't finding people talking about it in other places. Well, I didn't really look, but on the podcast I was listening to, it was kind of all movie stars and, what they were doing. And I don't really
identify with that.
Yeah. And so anyway, I thought, plus my friends are super funny. Like, my friends are hilarious, and we talk about everything. And I don't know if there's any subject that's off limits. And so that's just continued into our old age. And so talking with them about our parents, you know, aging and our kids growing up and moving out, or, you know, our bodies malfunctioning in many different ways. I just thought they were funny. And then I realized, like, a lot of people do reinvent themselves at this age, or something happens to them and they have to figure out how to cope with it. You know, when you're young, you can adapt and adjust so much easier than when you're this age. It's much harder. So meeting people that were able to, like, turn something negative into a positive has been so inspirational for me.
And when you meet those people and they share those stories about turning a negative into a positive, you want to share that with your listeners?
Yeah, definitely. Why? I think we all need to know that it's not over. You know, like, you're 60, I'm almost 60, but it's not freaking over. And for me, it's just starting, because now I don't have to worry about my kids. I did a great job with them.
So then when people get to retirement, some people die.
Yeah.
They feel like it's all over. They're not moving. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's just starting.
It's just starting. Yeah.
And you want people to know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
So, like, there's a purpose embedded in that.
Yeah.
Right? There's you being of service, you normalizing certain things that you're going through, you letting people know that there's hope, that you can turn a negative thing into a positive thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you know, you're not retired entirely.
No. And I don't know if I ever will be. I don't know. I found the perfect job for me. So I think I would do this probably till I dropped. And
you mean this as in?
I'm teaching ESL at night. So.
Oh, because I didn't know if you meant like this podcast.
The podcasting, I don't know, because it's so new. So I think I would do it as long as I really liked it, because it's super fun. Like, it's a lot of work, but it's really fun. So I see what you're saying, like, about being of service and
having a purpose, reshaping your identity, and being creative. Like, this whole thing is something that you created.
Yes.
So then those things are sharing with others, but it's also improving your mood.
Yeah.
Right. So then, like, mood regulation is something that we all struggle with at any age, but there's certain things that come along with this age bracket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, like, that regulating your mood at this age is different?
So much easier. Yes.
Would you say that other people in your age bracket find that it's so much easier also, or do you find that they're struggling, or is it a mixed bag?
I don't know.
Well, tell me about menopause. Does that make it difficult for people to?
I do think, yes. I'm on hormones. So not because of my mood, although I don't know, like, what my mood was. I also was going through a lot emotionally due to other circumstances. But, and anyway, hormones have definitely helped me. I had really bad hot flashes. And so the hormones, I mean, I had no quality of life because of it. I couldn't stand in a classroom and try to teach with, you know, sweat running down my face. It was very unattractive, and kids are brutal. So I went on hormones. I do have friends that have admitted to me that they find themselves angry, they find themselves sad, you know, that their emotions are not what they used to be, and more difficult to handle. But I haven't experienced that at all. Like, I really have learned. I listened to this one book on, I think it's super popular right now. It's The Let Them Theory by
Mel Robbins.
Yeah, Mel Robbins. And it was kind of all very, like, common sense in a way, but it helped me a lot. Just take a step back and be like, I don't have to do anything about that situation. It does not have to affect me. So I've become much more like, nah, do what you got to do. there's always consequences. So.
And then that perspective of let things unfold, and I don't have to let it affect me. It's helping you regulate your mood.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. But I do think that some of my friends are struggling with that. So
struggling with what? Letting them?
I think with letting them, with letting go, I think working and being caught up in some other, like putting the focus on something else rather than yourself is such an easy way to think that you're regulating your emotions, right? Like you have so much work to do. You can't think about whatever's going on. And then when that work is not there, you
are forced to look at it.
Yeah.
So then work can become escapism, avoidance behavior, 100%. Right? Is I'm avoiding those other things I don't want to look at, and I'm justifying it by saying that I'm being really productive.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I think it's a mixed bag. Back to your question. I think it's a mixed bag of, I think a lot of people my age too, a lot of my friends really have like, okay, let go. Like, especially with their grown kids, with their adult children, of going, it's their life. They're choosing their path. And if they need help, they can come and ask me. And if they don't, good luck. I don't know. I mean, I think I do have a lot of friends that have gotten to that point, which I think is super healthy. But
I mean, it's a recipe for emotional dysregulation to try to control that which you cannot control.
Exactly.
The only thing that we ultimately control is ourselves,
yeah.
right? Our own thoughts, emotions, behaviors. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So like children, when they're really, really little, like toddlers, like yes, you have to control them. You can't let them run in the street.
Right.
But the older they get, the less control you have.
Yep.
But if you dip out of your lane into theirs and try to control them, that can really stress you out.
Yeah.
It can impact you.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So
what can be difficult is taking care of your parents as they age, right? Is like you do have to be an active participant at some stage, or you should be. And so that can be extremely stressful, and that can affect your mood too.
Absolutely.
Right? And so then Gen X is the sandwich generation where you're kind of in the middle.
Yep.
Where you have adult kids, but then you have aging parents.
Absolutely. I think one of my guests, she said, when my friends and I get together, it used to be we talked about our kids, and now we're talking about our parents. Mm-hmm. So that most of my friends are dealing with caretaking in some form or another of their parents. And that is another thing they did not teach you in school.
No, you think you're going to be retired and you're going to be planting flowers, you're going to go on cruises, and you don't realize that you may be changing diapers and arranging caregiving and taking to the doctor, right?
Yeah. And it's such a different relationship that you have with your parents than you had with your kids. No matter what, if you tell your kid, put the milk away, they're probably going to put the milk away. But if you tell your parent, hey, put that milk away, they're going to tell you where to go and how to, how to get there. And that they like to leave the milk out on the counter, and it's fine, and don't worry about it. So most of my friends are dealing with at least one difficult parent right now. And that is really not something that I don't think any of us expected. I think, I wasn't around to really see what happened with my parents and their parents, with my grandparents, right? Like, I knew that my mom was going up to my grandparents' house all the time and, sitting with that, doing a lot for them, but I was wrapped up in my own life. So I didn't really see the details of what she was going through. And I'm sure my mom went through hell with my grandmother because she was not easy. I just didn't see it. And she kept us all kind of from seeing it. She took all that on herself. So I don't think any of us knew what to expect. And I'm pretty sure my friends were all the same. Yeah, you're right. It's much different to try to regulate your emotions around your parents than it is your kids. So what advice do you have, like, when it comes to dealing with the greatest generation?
You mean aging parents?
Yeah.
Well, I think giving them autonomy and agency as long as possible, unless they're conserved or they're cognitively declined. I think that they need some sense of autonomy and agency and independence to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
They're going to need help with certain things because they're not as mobile.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as decision making, if they're cognitively there, then let them make some of those decisions.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we can overstep sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also depends on the person, right?
Is like, I know. Yeah.
The way that we may approach this with your mother as opposed to your father.
Right.
Right. And same thing with me.
Yeah.
Every parent is different.
Yeah. That's been challenging. And I've had at least 2 guests on prior, like talking about what they're going through with their parents, if it's
stressful,
dementia and I think that's always like a continuing topic that we're going to be having.
A couple years ago, my nanny, she passed away. But before she passed away, and she had dementia and she had colon cancer. Oh. So my mom is one of 8. So some of the siblings were rotating.
Yeah.
And my uncle, who's still working for the county, he was there taking care of my grandmother. And the caretaker got to my grandmother's house. And when she went in, she found my uncle on the floor, not my grandma.
Oh my gosh.
He had a heart attack and he died. Yeah.
Gosh.
And so I just think that speaks to the gravity of how stressful it can be for some people.
Yeah.
Right. Caring for their parents.
Yeah.
And their parents, you think that they may be closer to passing, but that stress is real. That anxiety is real.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of powerlessness, right?
Yeah.
Helplessness, that you want to fix it, that you want to alleviate the pain, but you can only do so much.
Yeah.
So there's some level of acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good point. It's such a fine line sometimes between, like you said, giving them some autonomy, knowing when to step in and make decisions for them. It's very difficult with your children. You feel like you should make all their decisions. Like that's your, not that you can, but you feel entitled to do that. And then as a child, you are like, oh, my mom, she raised me great. Like, look at what a great job she did. She knows what she's talking about. And then you kind of check yourself and go, maybe a 90-year-old driving is not the best idea or whatever. And so I think it's a very fine line, and I don't have, it's tricky. And I mean, I have a friend right now whose, parent is just refusing to get any help, and he needs it, he needs it. And he will not accept any help. And
you can't make them.
And
which is it's so sad, because that they're suffering, that there's self-neglect going on, right? And then they won't let you step in to care for them.
Yeah.
So, there's not much you can do.
No, I know. Let's go back to like the retirement situation. So I was home for a year without any job. I was working on school, helping here and there with different family members, but I really didn't have anything. And we, like Angela, my husband, and I really had to kind of like we made an agreement in the morning. Okay, we're not going to talk to each other. We're going to pretend kind of like because he works in one of the rooms, right? He has an office set up, and I would walk in there like every 10 minutes, like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm working. What do you think I'm doing? Well, I heard like a YouTube, look, I'm working. Like, you can't just keep walking in here and asking what I'm doing. Well, do you want to go to lunch? No, I can't go to lunch. I'm working. So we had to like come up with a little thing of like, okay, let's not try to talk to each other until 3:00. And so we kind of set this, which was actually helpful. It wasn't a bad thing. Or I would try to find something to do outside so that he didn't feel like I was just lurking around the house. But let's say that there's a couple that one of them is retired or both, and they're kind of struggling. When would you suggest maybe some outside help with kind of relearning how to live, relearning how to live as a retired couple or...
Yeah, I think when there's a disconnect, when it doesn't feel healthy, when you feel like you're cohabitating in your roommates, but you're not best friends, it's probably time to start seeking some support to figure out how to reconnect with each other, to formulate a secure attachment, to make sure that your vision for the future is aligned. And that's important, right? It's like maybe you had a vision. Maybe you were best friends when you got together, but then over the years, your identity shifts, your purpose shifts, and, we can grow into different people.
Yeah.
And so then having somebody mediate that conversation can be helpful.
Yeah. Because as you're saying that, I'm thinking, like I said before, like when you're 40 and you're thinking about, oh God, I only have 25 more years to work. I just have to make it to 65 and then I'm going to retire. And you have this vision of what retirement is. And the reality is it's really not what you think, just like everything else in life, right? But you're right. Like maybe that plan that you had as a 45-year-old or whatever together as a couple, oh, we're going to retire and move to a beach and do this and that. Maybe that's not really the reality anymore.
Some people may want to travel, right?
Yeah.
And travel the world. Like my wife's parents, they're traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
They're going to Central America and Egypt and all kinds of different places, and that's what they both want to do.
Yeah.
But I think it can get tricky when one person has this vision of what retirement or this age is going to bring.
Yeah.
And they want to do that, and the other person doesn't. They want to continue to work, or they want to be home more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, so maybe like renegotiating
agreements, right?
Yeah.
Is like, how are you going to balance that?
Yeah.
Both people have needs that need to be met.
Yeah.
And so then it's not always about what we want. Sometimes you're going to do something for the other person so that they can have their needs met.
Yeah.
And it should be a give and a take, an ebb and a flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were in that stage, but then you didn't stay in that stage.
Right.
So then you decided, I want to go back to work. And you also wanted to start a podcast. So you didn't like having all that free time, right?
Right. Yeah. And now to me, like retirement might look a little different. And so I probably need to express that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm definitely in that space. I don't think that we are as a couple. I think that we are figuring it out, especially with that whole year I was home. We made it through that. I feel like this other stuff we can do, but it's definitely a big change. And I had a friend that said, my husband's like, she was saying like how her husband was driving her crazy. And I'm like, this is a huge change. You're home now all the time, which actually she was working from home, but it's totally a different dynamic. And so, yeah, it's a very big change that I think you think like, I don't know, like, it's like you're going to be at Disneyland every day because you don't have to go to work. And then you realize like, God, this is really boring. And I was lucky to have jobs I loved, and if I didn't love a job, I left it. I didn't stay in a job that I hated I think a lot of people don't have that luxury. I think a lot of people stay for whatever reason, and retirement really is like getting to the end of a finish line of a race, but that wasn't it for me. So,
some couples, they retire from their profession, then they have nothing but free time. And they're in this marriage and they may relish in being able to spend every waking moment together and going places together, and they're inseparable. And that's fine for that couple if that's how they are. Other couples may find that they still need their life outside of the relationship, their hobbies, their interests, their time with their friends, right? Yeah. Other things to preoccupy their time.
Yeah.
And then they'll have the time for their spouse.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's important that not every couple is different.
Yeah.
Not every individual is different.
Yeah.
And that means that there's not just one recipe or path or treatment to it.
Yeah.
Is you have to kind of learn about each person and then the couple as a unit to figure out what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Where both people are communicating, right? And talking about that. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What does this look like? What feels right for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
If not, then you have to course correct and make a plan.
Right. I think, and I think that's the scary part. The scary part, I think, is going, okay, we're not on the same page anymore. And how do we we get back to that, or create a whole different page that we both can be happy with? Or I think that's probably what we're talking about, like ultimately, right, is like figuring out how to do that. Interesting.
How to grow together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you believe that in a marriage? How long have you been married now?
32 years.
It's a long time.
I know.
Do you believe in a marriage, and maybe not for your own, but just in general, like, do you believe that a couple could fall out and then fall back in love with each other over the course of...
Yeah, I do. I do think that the only way that we could do that was therapy, counseling. We've gone multiple times in our marriage, individually, together, at multiple points. So yes, but I do think that. I think that.
Do you feel like you're the same version of yourself that you were when Angelo met you?
No. I mean, I think it's almost like looking at a skeleton, like the bones are the same. You know, I had like the inside of me was the same, but definitely not like, no.
How about him?
No, he has changed so much. Like he really has, he's done the work. You know, I'm going to brag about him for a second. He came from a very difficult place and had not realized that at the point where we had met. He didn't realize how, you know, difficult the place that he came from was. He thought it was normal. And he has completely done the work to, you know, be healthier, like I said before, like we definitely could have been divorced multiple times, you know, throughout our marriage for sure. But we both were, but he really had to do a lot of work. So
then your marriage was kind of saved by the fact that he was doing the work for himself, but then you guys were both doing the work together.
Yeah.
You were an individual, he was an individual, but you also did couples.
Yeah.
So you did that inner work.
Yeah.
And then you worked on your relationship.
Yeah.
And you changed and you grew together, right? But the man that he is today is not the same man that you fell in love with.
No.
And you're not the same woman either.
No.
And as you move into retirement, we have to go through this process again.
Yeah, I think so.
Because a part of you, if you're retiring and you tied a piece of your identity to work and you tied some of your purpose to work, you may be having to figure out who you are now.
Yeah.
Like, what is this next chapter? And so then you're looking at identity.
Yeah.
And it's like, identity, what is that? How do you find that? How do you figure out who you are?
Yeah.
It's kind of like figuring out who you were before you were wounded, before you disconnected from yourself.
Yeah.
As we go through these wounds. So he had a difficult upbringing.
Yeah.
And that was his baseline. He thought it was normal, but it impacted him. There's some level of trauma. When you go through trauma, you disconnect from a piece of yourself.
Yeah.
So then finding your identity is, who were you before you were hurt and you disconnected?
Yeah.
Then it's like, also, who are you because of the trauma if you've done the work, which leads to like post-traumatic growth, is like that trauma, you touched on it. You said you can turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Right? So these negative experiences, it can develop resiliency, which is your ability to bounce back.
Yeah.
So that's a piece of who you are. But then it's like, we also are creators.
Yeah.
We have an imagination. So it's like, then you have to ask yourself, like, okay, I need to figure out who I was, who I am, but I also get to ask myself, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
And then you have to develop a plan in order to be it. And when you go into retirement, if you're no longer spending all this time at work and it was tied to your identity and your purpose, you have to start asking yourself, who do you want to be now?
Yeah, I totally get that.
And then you're creating room and space. You're encouraging your spouse as they're stepping into a new upgraded 2.0 revised version of themselves, right? Is you want to be their cheerleader and let them do that.
Yeah.
And then fall in love with that version of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot. I like how you said that. I like how you laid it out. Because that is how it feels. And I do feel like we're at a point where I don't have to take it personally if he's struggling. Like his struggle does not have to be it doesn't have to be my struggle, or vice versa. My struggle doesn't have to be his struggle, but also you don't grow without that struggle, and nothing changes without that pain. And so
pain is the catalyst for change.
Yeah.
There's a purpose embedded in our pain.
Yeah.
And life exists on the other side of our comfort zone. So we need to struggle in order to grow, and you should never stop growing.
Yeah.
Even after retirement, I think that people think that you can just put your feet up.
Yes.
But I think very quickly you're going to realize things either grow or they die.
Yeah.
Is the brain needs to be stimulated, and it can be. You can go through neuroplasticity all the way until you die.
Right.
But you need to read, you need to write, you need to try on new things, you need to have hobbies, you need to be creative, you need to engage in relationships.
Yeah.
None of that should stop.
Yeah. I love that. And I think this is like the perfect place to end this. But before, I love that. I might just like copy and paste that like 3 times at the end, because I love that. That was perfect. First of all, I just want to thank you for coming to talk to me, because I wasn't sure. I didn't have a super clear plan of how I wanted this discussion to go, but I think it was perfect. And I really appreciate you coming here and doing this. And I would love for you to repeat your if somebody wants to get in touch with you, to maybe meet with you on a professional level.
So, sure. For those people that are in need of services, the business is Therapy Services Morgan Hill.
Okay.
The website is therapy.services. Phone number is 408-909-2667.
Okay.
So for individual or couples counseling.
And I'll put this in the notes, I'll put that in the notes as well, just in case. I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot for that, but
it's good for people to know where to turn for help.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I think that you are a testament. You and Angelo are a testament. And as am I, is like, I think a lot of people are terrified to get help and to open up and be vulnerable and talk. I think that they should be more terrified of not doing that.
I agree.
It's like I think that people look at services like, oh, that sounds hard, and that sounds like change, and that sounds like work. And it's like, it is hard, but it's already hard.
Yeah.
You not changing and growing is hard.
Yes.
Right? So then pick your hard.
Yeah. I totally agree.
But I also want to say, like you're saying, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me, right? It's an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you moved next door to my brother with your big scary dogs that were not scary at all.
The Alaskan Malamutes. They passed, actually.
I know.
It's so sad when we have to say goodbye. They were part of our families.
Horrible. Well, thank you again. And hopefully we'll have you back for another stimulating topic.
Sounds good, Carla. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on today's adventure. Special thanks to Lisa Mitchell, who is always willing to open up and talk about the weirdness of middle age. And a very special thanks to Robert Freitas for taking the time to basically give me a free recorded therapy session. His knowledge and dedication to good mental health has been an invaluable resource to me. Please see the program notes for Robert's business information if you are interested in contacting him. Thank you for listening to Gen X TrustFall. If you liked this episode or have a suggestion for a potential guest, please email me at gxtrustfall@gmail.com. You can also leave a message in the Spotify or Apple Podcast comments. Gen X TrustFall is produced by me and the recording master Ryan Loomis at Double Banger Studio. Advisory and website by Amy Clifford. Music by Ryan and Sam.